Okay, the chain's all rusted too. I probably need a new chain. That's going to be a little pricey. Okay, so let me drop the bikes off today. See if they can put a new chain on. I think this bike over here, I want to do, if I don't do Angel Fire, I want to do bike packing. And this bike's fine. That chain is fine. It's in really good condition. I barely used it. I used it a lot like 2 years ago, last year actually, when I was in Prescott. But yeah, so I want to do bike packing because I've got the rack on here. So I think what I want to do is undo all of this, just have them put air in the tires and all that stuff, maybe slime. I know slime's like $5. But yeah, so then what I'll do is, if I don't do Angel Fire, which is fine because I really don't know about my wrist, then I'll take the Amtrak for the first time in my life up to Santa Fe and then ride my bike back next week. I think I'd like to do that. I'd have to get a hotel for one night, so I'd take the bike up and then stay for a night in Santa Fe, and then ride back. I don't think I want to do the whole thing in one day. It's 2.5 hours by train. It's only 45 minutes by car. 2.5 hours by train. And then I want to, see if I can take my bike on there. It'd be great. So yeah, this bike is complete. I just think I need a new bike. And of course, they never put the little valve back on because the rocks will hit the valve and then the tire goes down. Anyway, these aren't tubeless anymore, but the tires that I got, brand new tires this summer, just got completely destroyed. Anyway, never going back to Big Sky. I'm done with Big Sky forever. Okay, let me go to the gym and work out. If I'm gonna go bike packing, because that's all I want to do is go bike packing. Nothing else. I'll do it Sunday. Sunday won't be so busy. Maybe it will be, I don't know. Maybe everybody goes up on Sunday. But it's a commuter train, so I guess the weekends aren't as busy as the weekdays. But yeah, so I'm gonna do that. What's over here? This is a supermarket. Oh, maybe if I stop. It's so crazy. There's so many like big supermarket areas and they've all shut down. Like you just see what used to be like the remnants of a Toys R Us or remnants of a Bed Bath and Beyond or something, or Bed Barf and Beyond. All these big stores that shut down and then they get replaced with a Spirit Halloween. So now Halloween's over since it's December. Now they get just to sit there abandoned. But yeah, I was thinking that was a supermarket, but it's not. Yeah, so the only place that I know to get primo water fill up is the big on Academy, the big big Walmart. But I, didn't fill up this week, so because I was tired. But I also don't want to be spending, driving 40-50 miles a day around Albuquerque just to go back and forth from places. So I have to plan what I'm going to do. It's warm. Why is my heat on? It's funny, they got all the street racers out, and that's fun. They were doing donuts in the parking lot when I was driving around. Anyway, there's a Mini Cooper as well, a little souped up Mini. I used to race cars in Japan. I raced Nissan Skyline that we built and a Silvia 180 that we built. And so I learned how to drift and drag race. And drifting on the right-hand drive with a left-hand stick shift, pretty awesome. Anyway, as long as you're not killing anyone, which I think they are speeding on the roads. They need to build like drift tracks or something. But yeah, there's like a little car club, little car club right over there. They're all leaving to go race. Again, what I was just saying, overcompensating for what you're lacking in. I just want to get some water. So let me go in and see if they have they do have a fill up. They're primo. Okay, cool. There's Albertsons over there. Let me go fill up my water. And I think I'll do it twice because that's all I need is water. So I'll fill up twice and then I can fill, I'm just going to spend like 20 minutes here trying to fill up the Big Blue. All right, so they're all racing. I've got my water bottle. Good playful fun. It's like, as long as they're not drinking or on drugs, I'm like, they might be, I don't know. No, it's Albuquerque. We have a very, we've got the cartel here as well. I don't know. It could be like, I don't know, the police car? I don't think that's a police officer there. All right, let me go get water. Okay, water has been got. I just fed a homeless guy. So he was in a wheelchair. I have to be mindful. I've got to be pretty selective on which homeless people I feed. Just because most of them in this area are just fentanyl junkies. So, which is horrible. It's absolutely, oh my God. I had a friend who, his 21-year-old son died from a fentanyl overdose in college, like just from eating a brownie or something, and just never woke up. So it's shit. But there's Cane's Chicken, and I actually, in this Albertsons parking lot, there are a lot of homeless people, and that's probably about the 7th or 8th homeless person I fed from that restaurant. But they give a military discount, and what, it's like $8 out of my pocket, and the guy gets a hot meal. He's in a wheelchair. He was kind of confused at first. He's like, what? And I'm like, do you want food? I'm like, I'm buying you food, and it comes with a cold drink on a cold day. So yeah, last time I didn't obviously film anything, but like last year there was a homeless guy, and it was freezing cold. I just got back to Albuquerque. No, 2 years, I think it was 2 years ago or last year, I don't know. Anyway, but it was very, very cold, and I literally just landed in Albuquerque with the van, and this guy was just, you know, sitting there freezing, and I said, would you like some food? So I got him like the mega chicken meal, and I don't eat that garbage. But no, I don't eat fried chicken from those places. I prefer to get it like homemade, or from like Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. But anyway, so yeah, he was very grateful, which is great. And I don't do this for any like praise or anything, but just wanted him to eat. You know, I've been there too. My daughter and I lost our whole home in a flood, and I've been starving at times in my life, and my mom's a single mother raising 3 kids, and we know what it's like to kind of go without, so always pay it forward. But yeah, and ended up just sitting there with him outside freezing while he was eating, and he was just, you know, like had no family left, or didn't know where his family was, and he, as far as he knew, he was a grandfather, but he just didn't know where his family was. They just kind of ditched him, bastards. So anyway, where am I going? I feel like I've gone this way already. I don't know. I think I'm going the wrong way. So let me figure out where I'm going, because I need to get to Cracker Barrel, and I don't know exactly where I'm going right now. I'm in construction. I just want to go home. Okay, now I'm heading on to the 25 North. Now I know where I am. Again, I haven't memorized Albuquerque. I've been here for like months at a time every year, and I do not know where I am. I just know the places I go. I don't know the other places I have to go. Like if I have to go to like Best Buy, I'm like, I'm lost. I want to just stay on the service road. Oh no, I'm way down on Montgomery. I've got to get on the freeway. Damn it. I don't want to go on the freeway. There's a lot of construction down here. Anyway, so I almost, well, voluntold myself to go down to South America and help my friend Mark get his snack pack and his Tacoma camper truck down to Argentina, but I can't, because I obviously have my daughter and I have appointments, and I can only go for like a week or 2 at a time, maybe 10 days at a time, and I have to fly back, which I could do. I mean, he used to work for Southwest. If he wants to fly me back and forth to South America, you know, like I'm not like a drug runner, but like, you know, I'm just helping out a friend get down to Argentina. His daughter went back to the States, so her leg of the trip is done, and now he's got to get out of Ecuador to Peru. And the problem is that you can only have 1 person per vehicle. You can't have 1 person with 2 vehicles. So he dropped his daughter off at the airport today, not realizing that he needed 2 people to get both vehicles into Peru. So I could fly to Quito. It's only a 5-hour flight from Houston, and then go help him drive across the border, and then fly from Lima back to Houston, see my daughter, and then turn around and spend 10 days flying, or fly back to South America, and then drive to the next airport. It'll be just like 2023 in the 48 states when I did that, where I would book all my tickets 2 weeks out from a different airport around the country, and then I'd have to like do the amazing race in the van and like go see all the national parks in between. That was fun. That was a fun year of doing that, and it was very cheap actually. I mean, I spent $13,000 on gas, but that's just no different than paying rent. But you know, it's all expense. You get a $12,000 write-off on your gas every year if you file your taxes, and if you just don't do everything under the table. So yeah, everything's a write-off, just like everything's a hammer except a screwdriver, and then it's a chisel. But I was like talking to him today. I was like, he goes, oh, I'm stuck, I need someone to help me like get down. I was like, I'd do it, but I have a child, so I need to go. Plus I've got family stuff in January. This video will come out way afterwards, and probably next year. But yes, things may change, and I may end up, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to jinx anything, but yeah, things may change, and I may end up having a different kind of van life. I don't know. or may end up being in Houston full time. I don't know. We'll see. So it can go either way, but either way, January is going to be a big game changer. So I can't really go down to South America and be gallivanting around the mountain roads. But yeah, and I've been to 90 countries. I've been to 77 on my own. I've overlanded on motorcycles and hitchhiked and overlanded across Africa. So for me to do a trip like that with border crossings and all the shit that can go wrong, possibly going wrong and actually going wrong, I'm a pretty seasoned traveler. I've been all over the planet. Plus I've done 5 years of van life by myself. So for me, it's not that much of a hardship or a stretch to go down to those countries. I've been to 90, including 23 developing, and I've driven across West Africa from Ivory Coast to Nigeria, through Ghana, Togo, Benin, and then to Nigeria. So yes, I don't know. If I didn't have everything else in the world going on, and if this was not knocking everything over, and this wasn't like, you know, if this was like 10 years ago, no, 15 years ago, before my daughter was born, I would absolutely do it. If it was, you know, obviously now, I can't be leaving unless I can get back in 10 days and be home in Houston on time. It's only a 5-hour flight from Quito, but it would be longer flights the further down in South America we get. Maybe one day I'll do van life South America, like many years from now, after I've done Alaska. I've just visited Alaska, and after I've been to Hawaii and finished the 63 national parks. So anyway, couple visitors here tonight at Cracker Barrel. We got one of those Iveco, it looks like the front of a 18-wheeler with a flat front, like it has no nose. I've got one of those camper vans. We've got a bus that was here last night. I think they're staying at the hotel though, because they're the Clovis Timberwolves. It looks like a school bus. And then Cracker Barrel's still open. I want dessert. I think Cracker Barrel's closed now. Oh well, I don't even know what they have for dessert. I should look. I don't even want dessert, but I should patronize them at some point for letting me live here. So, I don't know. Do they have anything? This Denny's is open 24 hours, but they don't really have, well, they do. They have desserts. They have milkshakes and stuff. I don't drink regular cow milk, so that would be no. I don't think they're going to serve me 10 minutes before they close. I'm just wired. I'm so wide awake right now. But I need to be able to sleep tonight. I did get water. I got an extra gallon, so I had an empty 1-gallon bottle. Somehow, I think from the car. So I've got an empty gallon. I got 7 gallons of water. I put 3 gallons in the blue reserve. I filled up the main water with 3 gallons, which actually is only $1.50 for 3 gallons. These actual individual bottles from supermarket are $1.59. So do the math. It's cheaper to get a big reserve and then use those supermarket fill-up stations. And it saved me having to go all the way to Walmart and do it. Because Walmart you have to pay before, and I was like, I don't know how many gallons I need. And the one that I went to is outside, and you just put in 50 cents for each gallon. So yeah, so I got 7 gallons, which will be good. I still need to finish filling up the reserve, so I think I'll do that tomorrow or something. I'll do that later. Okay, so no bike packing on Saturday. Gonna do it Sunday for sure. It's gonna be a 1-day thing. Worst case scenario, I end up having to stop and find a hotel, which is fine, but I think I can do the whole ride in less than 6 hours. Google says 6 hours, but I can do 27 miles in 2 hours, 1 hour and 59 minutes for 27 miles. And that's going at pretty easy pace. And so to do 64 miles will take me twice that long plus 7 extra miles. So it'll probably take me less than 5 hours to do it. I gotta make sure I bring enough water with me. So I've got some 1 liter bottles, 1.5 liter bottles. So, and then I got these, I washed these out at the gym today. These are my, the bottles that Jeff got me, my Camelback bottles that go in my holder. So if I bring 2 of those, a drink, okay, so I'm gonna take the train up for like an hour and a half, right? So on the train on the hour and a half, I'm gonna drink as much water as I can. Then I'm going to have the extra 2 bottles to take with me. And then that should be enough water for 6 hours. I probably need an extra bottle. So I've got to figure out how to bungee cord an extra liter and a half to there. So that way I'll have 3 liters. I'll drink a whole bunch before I even get on the train. And then I'll just bring some toilet paper and some Ziplocs with me. So, because I'll be like, I just got to pee in a bush. It should be good. Hopefully it's a pretty good trail, like a paved trail or some sort of like gravel trail, and not going like into the wilderness. But I'm gonna be doing that. So and it's only like $8 to go on the train one way, which is a lot if you're commuting every day. I guess you get a monthly pass, but I think it's like $45 for a monthly pass or something. But they have a military discount, and also like youth military, like your kids can also get the military discount. So I'm definitely going to partake in that. And they only have one train on Sundays at 8:24 in the morning. The next one's at like 1:30. So I do not want to be riding my bike where it gets dark at 5 o'clock here. So I need to get that 8:30 train. So I need to get up at 5 a.m. on Sunday, eat all my breakfast, eat a little bit extra, bring my sandwiches, snacks, and all that with me, and then eat something on the train on the way up, drink a whole bunch of water, and then just ride the hell down. And it should be a good ride. 64 miles. I'll notify my friends that I'm doing it in case I need to be rescued. But I'll bring my bike lock as well. So worst case as well, I have to Uber back or get a ride back if they don't have a bike rack. I'm tired. Nobody's here. Everything's closed. And I haven't seen any hot air balloons, but I haven't been up early enough. I look out my window at 9 a.m. when all the balloons are gone. I want to do a hot air balloon ride. I should go call my friend who's a aeronaut, that's what they call them, the pilot, at the Rainbow Riders, see if I can get into one of the balloons before the end of the year, maybe. I don't know if the weather, like how the weather affects it. But when I went to do the Amazon tour, they call all of the employees at the ABQ1, which is the Amazon Fulfillment Center, they call them aeronauts, which is the name of a pilot of a hot air balloon. I had no idea. Okay, I'm going to bed. I fed a homeless guy, so it's all good. I was just really like a little bit irked at how quickly that fried chicken came out. Like literally I hadn't even gotten the drink for the guy and it was already ready. And I'm like, I know it's fast food, but I'm not eating that crap. No, but yeah, so somehow that's been like the 8th time I fed somebody from that restaurant. It's all good. There's no homeless people up in this area, up on San Antonio. They're all down on Montgomery, because that's right near the International District, which is the Skid Row. So I don't know how Albuquerque takes care of the homeless population. Many of them, like I said, are just addicted to fentanyl, and it's really bad here. They're selling like fentanyl pills for like $1 a pill, and the International District is right near University of New Mexico. So I told my friend, just make sure his kid doesn't get involved in that kind of stuff. Like, he's a really good kid, and I would hate to see anything happen. So anyway, but they're all home for Christmas now. The university's getting out. So all right, I'm gonna make another cup of tea. I'm gonna finish watching Homeland for a bit, probably go to bed in 2 hours. All right, so I'm gonna go to bed in a bit. Let me make some tea. I've already finished my Yeti that I put my little Beatles sticker on. Thank you for listening. All right, that's enough of me whining, and no bike packing tomorrow. Let's do it Sunday. I got to charge everything anyway. I got to get my GoPro, and maybe I don't need the GoPro because I can just film. I'm not going to be riding any down a hill or anything. Plus, I don't feel like editing the GoPro. I'd rather just film on my phone. So, all right, good night. Bye.